A secret RCMP report recently obtained through an access to information request paints a dire picture of Canada's future, one where economic collapse, declining living standards, and widespread civil unrest are no longer hypothetical, but imminent. The report, titled Whole of Government 5-Year Trends for Canada, was never meant for public eyes, containing, quote, special operational information distributed only among top government decision makers and law enforcement. Its conclusion? Canadians are running out of money, running out of hope, and once they realize the depth of their economic despair, they could revolt. The upcoming period of recession will accelerate the decline in living standards that the younger generations have already witnessed compared to earlier generations, the report states. It warns that, quote, many Canadians under 35 are unlikely ever to be able to buy a place to live. In other words, an entire generation has been priced out of the dream their parents took for granted. The situation is expected to worsen. Quote, right from the get-go, the report authors warned that whatever Canada's current situation, it will probably deteriorate further in the next 5 years. The RCMP also acknowledges that economic forecasts for the rest of the decade are bleak, echoing the ominous warning from French President Emmanuel Macron that, quote, the end of abundance is upon us. This isn't just alarmism, it's backed by hard data. Canada's economy is failing, and the government knows it. Recent data from the OECD reveals just how catastrophically Canada has mismanaged its economy. Since 2015, real GDP per capita, the best measure of how an economy benefits individual citizens, has grown by a miserable 1.4%. This puts Canada second to last among all OECD countries, only ahead of Luxembourg, which actually shrank. To put that into perspective, over the same period, the United States grew by 18.2%. The OECD average was 13.6%. Poland saw 40.1% growth, and Ireland a staggering 41.7%. This means that if Canada had simply kept pace with US productivity growth, the average Canadian would be earning $5,500 more per year, a figure that could mean the difference between affording a home and being permanently trapped in the rental cycle. But rather than address this economic catastrophe, the Liberal government has doubled down on failed policies over and over again. Canada's economic stagnation is not an accident. It's a direct result of reckless government policy. Ottawa has prioritized mass immigration over economic productivity, flooding the country with over 1.2 million new people in 2023 alone, despite a housing shortage, overwhelmed healthcare systems, and stagnant wages. Meanwhile, the government continues to suffocate industry in pursuit of climate extremism, with carbon taxes, ESG mandates, and radical green policies that do nothing but raise costs for Canadians while funneling billions into unaccountable climate slush funds. And while Canadians struggle to make ends meet, the government has grown into a bloated, parasitic entity consuming way more wealth than it creates. In fact, it creates no wealth. The number of federal employees has exploded by over 108,000 since Trudeau took office, and taxation has reached historic levels. We now pay more in taxes than on food, housing, and clothing combined. This isn't sustainable. The more socialist Canada becomes, the worse life gets. Government-controlled economies have turned a once thriving country into a stagnant, overtaxed mess where home ownership is out of reach, wages are stagnant, and personal wealth is eroded by inflation and bureaucratic waste. If Canadians do not wake up, we are headed for total economic collapse. The RCMP's memo makes it clear. People will only tolerate this for so long before frustration boils over. The solution isn't more government programs, more bureaucracy, or more empty promises from disconnected elites. The solution is simple. Cut the cancer of government waste, end reckless immigration policies that strain our economy, and stop sacrificing our prosperity to the delusional climate cult. Canada does not need more socialism, it needs economic freedom. If we do not change course, we will get exactly what the RCMP is predicting: an angry, impoverished population with nothing left to lose.